The last type of machines is pulleys, and you might have seen this in villages. People use it for drawing water from the well, and that is a single fixed pulley that you see in this picture. There is a support on which this pulley is fixed. It is just a disc, and it can rotate about this axis. That is the axis of rotation that is fixed. And this is a wheel, it can rotate. There is a rope or a chain that is going inside like this and coming out. Typically, you pull like this, and whatever effort that you apply, whatever force that you apply, becomes the tension in this rope. And we are going to assume that the rope or string is itself of negligible mass as compared to the load that is being lifted, and that it is inextensible, that is, the length of the rope or string will not change. We are also going to assume for the moment that the mass of the pulley is also negligible and there is no friction. This is a single fixed pulley. A pulley which has its axis of rotation fixed is called a fixed pulley. And we are going to assume ideal string and ideal pulley as I mentioned. If you have an ideal string, then the tension is the same at every point. If it has got a mass, then the tension will differ. So under these ideal conditions and neglecting the friction, to keep this load in equilibrium, when you pull it with an effort, you create a tension. And tension is a pulling force, so it will act outward from that load. And if this load is in equilibrium, then the load, which is the weight, is L, and that is balanced by the tension. So load is equal to the tension, and effort is also equal to the tension. Therefore, the mechanical advantage is one, you don't get any force multiplier effect or speed multiplier effect. If you pull this by a distance x, then the load will also move up by the same distance x because the rope is inextensible. That means the dE, distance moved by effort, is equal to the distance moved by the load. So velocity ratio is dE by dl, that is also equal to 1 under ideal conditions. But if friction is added, then we have to overcome that friction. Then the mechanical advantage will become less than 1. Velocity ratio doesn't change because that is all about distances covered, and efficiency will become less than 1. Under ideal conditions, efficiency is equal to 1. Now, here we don't get any mechanical advantage. The only advantage that we have is that we are able to pull down. That is a more convenient way of applying the force, and that is why it's a machine, because it is making our task easier. Now you see here that dE is equal to dl. So VR is equal to 1, efficiency is also equal to 1 under ideal conditions, no force multiplier, no speed multiplier, then why use it? Only due to the convenience of pulling it down like this. There's a picture of such a pulley over here, and you find this in villages. What the pulley does is that it changes the direction of the effort. It is a lot easier to pull the rope downwards than to pull it upwards. So it is a machine from that perspective. Now we can improve upon the mechanical advantage by taking a movable pulley. Let's consider a single movable pulley. What you see at the bottom here is a movable pulley, and on top it is a fixed pulley. And see how the rope is connected. From the hand of the man, it goes over the fixed pulley, then comes down, then goes round the movable pulley, and then comes and attaches itself to the fixed pulley. And there's a hook here through which a load is hanging. Now, what about the mechanical advantage of this? Whatever is the effort is also the tension in the string, and it is one single string, so tension is the same at all points. And if you look at this movable pulley, TT, both of them are acting upwards. If the load is in equilibrium, then the load downwards is equal to 2T. The load is equal to 2T, but the effort is only T. Mechanical advantage is load by effort, 2T by T, 2. a single movable pulley is able to give us a force multiplier effect. And actually, you could have a movable pulley like this, that this is fixed, and you have a pulley, and there's a load hanging from here, and then you pull it upwards. Mechanical advantage will be the same. But why do we add a fixed pulley here? The fixed pulley doesn't give us any mechanical advantage. Why we add this is because we are able to apply the effort in a more convenient direction. What about the velocity ratio? That's very interesting. Look at this statement. If the load moves up by a distance d, the effort has to move a distance 2d. 2d. Why is that so? Let us look at this picture. Suppose the load moves up by a distance d. So this point moves up by a distance d. That means now it looks like this. So if this moves up, then this much length of the string, which is equal to d, and this much length of the string, which is also equal to d, both of them have to move to this side. That means the effort has to move by a distance 2d. Velocity ratio is dE by dl. dl was d, but dE is 2d, and velocity ratio is 2. And that should be the case under ideal conditions. MA is equal to VR. MA was 2, VR is 2. And so in such a case, the efficiency is 1. Again, if you add friction and also the weight of this pulley itself, then the mechanical advantage will reduce and efficiency will become less than 1. Single movable pulley. So another depiction of the same thing, we add this for convenience, not for any mechanical advantage. So this is also the same combination, and we have the effort, the rope, the fixed pulley, the movable pulley, and the load hanging. So the MA and VR that you have doesn't change if you add this single fixed pulley. It only brings you convenience. So to compare single fixed pulley and single movable pulley. Single fixed pulley is fixed to a rigid support, but this is not fixed to a rigid support, it is movable. MA and V are both equal to 1. Here MA and VR are both equal to 2 under ideal conditions. The weight of the pulley doesn't affect the MA because the pulley is not moving up and down. But in a movable pulley, that pulley itself moves. So the weight of the pulley reduces the MA to some extent. The single fixed pulley's function is to change the direction of the effort in a downward direction, which is more convenient, whereas the function of a single movable pulley is to act as a force multiplier. That's a comparison. Now we can put many movable pulleys. This is a fixed pulley. This is a movable pulley. This is a movable pulley. This is also a movable pulley. 3 movable pulleys and 1 fixed pulley. What is the mechanical advantage of this system? The best way to approach it is assume that the thing is in equilibrium. So how much is the effort required at this end in order to keep this load at rest? Let us work by tensions. Whatever is the load hanging, the tension over here should balance that load. Tension will be acting outward. So L is equal to T. Now we have this one single string going right all the way here. Now look at the pulley. Pulley is massless, but it is at rest. So net force on it should be 0. The tension on the pulley will be acting outward, that is downward, that is equal to T. And that is supported by tension in the left side on the right side. And the tension on left and right should be the same because it is one single string all the way up here. So that should be T by 2, T by 2. Now that T by 2 is pulling it like this. So by the same logic, in this string, the tension becomes T by 4 And by the same logic, the tension in this string becomes T by 8. And this is the same string that is going here. So the effort that you're applying is T by 8, whereas the load is T. So what is the mechanical advantage? 8. Load is T, effort is T by 8. And the interesting thing is, when we had 3 movable pulleys, 1, 2, and 3, then we get a mechanical advantage of 8, which is 2 to the power 3. If you have n movable pulleys, then the mechanical advantage will be 2 to the power n. What about velocity ratio? That is dE by dL, right? So again, look at this load here. If the load moves up by a distance d, then this must move by a distance 2d by the example that we showed earlier. Therefore, this one should move by a distance 4d, and this should be moving with a distance 8d. That means the effort is moving by 8d, while the load is moving only by d. So dE is 8d and dL is d, and that is also 8. That should be the case. MA is equal to VR under ideal conditions. So with n movable pulleys, VR is also 2 to the power n under ideal conditions. And mechanical advantage, if it is not ideal conditions, then it will become less than 2 to the power n. So it is 2 to the power n under ideal conditions and less than 2 to the power n otherwise. But VR will not change because VR is about the distances covered. MA will reduce because of friction and the weight of the pulley and so on. But VR is about the distances. That is not going to change. VR remains same, MA reduces. So efficiency, which was earlier equal to 1, now becomes less than 1. That is what happens when you have friction and weight of the pulley and other sort of forces. Another combination of pulleys is called a block and tackle system. There are 2 blocks. You see the first picture. In this one fixed block, there are 3 pulleys, and that is connected to another block, which is 3 pulleys together, but those 3 pulleys together, they are movable. So that becomes a combination of block and tackle, and the load is hanging from the lower block. Now, in the second picture, we have 2 and 2, right? So let us look at the mechanical advantage. If you look at the string, it is the same string that is going all round. Same string. So the value of the tension will be the same. So we have to look at the number of strands which are supporting the load. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So mechanical advantage is 6. And whatever is the effort over here, E, that will be the tension T. So the number of strands that are supporting the load here is 6 strands, each with tension T. Therefore, this load or the weight here is 60, and the mechanical advantage is load by effort 60 upon T, that is 6. There are 6 pulleys and we get 6. Here, similarly, there are 4 pulleys. Whatever is the effort here, that is the tension. It is the same string going round, 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 round. So how many strands? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 strands, each with tension T supporting the load. So load is equal to 4T in equilibrium and effort is only T. Mechanical advantage is 4. Now here, the number of pulleys in the top block and the lower block were the same, 3, 3, 2, 2. But it can operate in another manner also. The number of pulleys in the movable lower block is either equal to or 1 less than the number of pulleys in the upper fixed block. That means it could have been 3 and 2 or 3 and 3. This could be 2 and 1 or 2 and 2 as it is right now. So number of pulleys in the lower movable block is equal to or one less than the number of pulleys in the upper fixed block. That is a rule, important rule. If the total number of pulleys is n and the effort is applied downward, this is very important, how the effort is being applied, then all that we need to do is see number of strands that are supporting the load. In such case, as we have seen in both the cases, the effort is being applied downwards. Here n was 6 pulleys, so MA was 6. Here n was 4, so MA was 4. So the tension in n segments is supporting the load. Effort is tension, but there are n strands, each having tension T, so the load is equal to NT, and load by effort is equal to N. It acts as a force multiplier. And VR also will be equal to N, and namely, if the load moves distance D, then effort moves a lot more distance. Therefore, there is no gain in energy as such. Work input is equal to work output. You can't have an output greater than the input. At best, they will be equal. So please understand, work is force into distance. Effort is smaller than the load, all right, but you have to move a longer distance. So that effort into the distance moved by the effort is the input work, and the load multiplied by the distance moved by the load is the output work. You can't have a case where you do less work and you get an output which is more than your input. So the effort moves a greater distance because the effort is smaller in value. Eta is equal to 1, ideally else less than 1. So that's a combination of pulleys. Now we have ignored the weight of the pulleys in the lower block. If we were to include it, what happens? Suppose W is the weight of the lower block including the pulleys. Effort is a tension, but what we need to overcome is not only the load that is hanging, but also the weight of the movable pulleys and block. So L plus W is now equal to NT. Earlier L was equal to NT, now L plus W is equal to NT. Mechanical advantage is load by effort. Load is equal to NT minus W. So NT minus W by T, that means N minus W by T, and T is equal to E, right? T is equal to E. So N minus W by E. Earlier the mechanical advantage was N, now it is reduced because of the weight of the pulleys and the block, which includes the pulleys. Thus the MA is less than the ideal value of N because of the weight. But VR doesn't change. VR is about the distances moved. So efficiency will reduce. Efficiency is MA by VR. MA was earlier N, now it is N minus W by E. But VR remains N, so it is 1 minus W by NE. Earlier eta was 1, now it is reduced. Efficiency is reduced by the weight of the lower blocks. So, for greater efficiency, the weight of the lower block must be minimized, number 1. Number 2, the friction in the bearings of the pulleys should also be minimized by using suitable lubricants. So that was the theory of pulleys, including the block and tackle system. In the next session, we will solve some problems on pulleys.